Hello and welcome everybody to a unboxing video of this large package that arrived today. So I've been kind of buying a lot of expensive fragrances, but truly I'm a little bit fed up with the pricing of a lot of these luxury fragrance brands nowadays. So here is a big package with lots of stuff, but a small price tag. So let's have a look what we got here. First of all, Cabotine de Gres. So this one is the Eau de Toilette. I showed you the Eau de Parfum before. Now I also have the Eau de Toilette because it's also €8. So I'll be doing a comparison between these two soon enough. I mean, I'll have to wear them both and then I'll tell you the differences. There are actually some pretty good videos comparing the two already on YouTube, but look out for that from me as well. So here's a couple of things. I will actually be smelling some of these for the first time in this little unboxing video, but a couple of them I will save for a future video. So here are two that I will save. This is from the brand of Parfum de Nicolai. These are 30ml fragrances. So we have number 1 Intense, which is her first fragrance. Sorry, this is the one on the left, this one. And we have Riviera Verbena, one of the newer fragrances from 2022. Both of these are 30ml. Both of these below €30. So this one was €20 and this one was €29. Just generally speaking, Patricia de Nicolai, first of all, is a beautiful human being. And secondly, these little 30ml bottles I think are really well priced and I cannot fault her for them at all. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, so here's some stuff that I do want to smell. Making sure I got my blotters here. Don't want to keep you for too long either. So first of all, this one is Moschino Uomo, ? So is it for a guy? I don't know. Moschino, an Italian brand, very provocative fashion. This is one of their older fragrances. So this is not like Toy Boy, which is, by the way, one of my favorite fragrances. I really, really, really love Toy Boy. This one is older, but this is a 75ml bottle, which, you know, it's very simple style, but I don't mind it. And this one cost me a whopping €12 for 75ml. So let's see what this Uomo Eau de Toilette smells like on first impressions. It's actually a surprisingly decent sprayer. So yeah, what do you know about that? I can already smell it in the air. Fresh citrus, clean, aromatic. There's some lavender type stuff, there's some coriander type stuff, like some green aromatics. A little bit of like a peppery spice, a little bit of a clean woodiness, probably some patchouli. I mean, this is like just beautiful, citrusy, soapy, old school, slightly spicy. Slightly amber fougere maybe. There's some sweetness in this, so I mean this is still very, very nice. €12 for this. Cannot complain about it at all. Like, this is just, there's no reason to, you know, spend tons of money on clones or on modern fragrances that are not worth it. And here we keep going. This one comes courtesy of the recommendation by Rich Mitch. This is Bogart pour Homme by Jacques Bogart. And yeah, Rich Mitch is a big fan of this fragrance, so I already told him I was gonna pick one up the next time I was gonna order, because how much do these run? This fragrance here, 100ml, which, you know, kind of a shitty looking sprayer thing, but this one here costs €15, 15, so not 50, 15. And let's see what it's like. First of all, there's some, you know, shit floating around in it, so that's one thing you have to expect with cheap fragrances. Sometimes you will find stuff floating around, but actually the Moschino is clean, so that one's well made, well filtered. This one has some stuff floating around in it, but you know, no worries. I mean, I'm sure it's fine. Sprayer of this is also much worse. You can see actually it's leaking a little bit to the side because, yeah, it's not very well designed, but so So quality-wise, the Moschino is actually a nicer quality presentation, but let's see what the smell is like. Okay, so it's not as citrusy. It is, well, it's still citrusy, but this is more lavender. Way more lavender. It smells a little bit more dry. It smells a little bit more vanillic. A bit more straightforward, but still very, very nice. I mean, still it's a very nice, clean fragrance. The Moschino here definitely is a little bit more complex, definitely is a little bit more spicy. This one here is just sweet, lavender, vanilla, musk, some cedary stuff, some bergamoty stuff on the top. It's very straight. I mean, there's lots of tonka in this as well. Very straightforward Homme. I mean, this is just nice. I mean, it's just plain nice. It's not much you can complain about. Keep going. So this one is one that I heard about again from Fliss from Les Odorants. This is called Oscar de la Renta. Is it like Spanish, like Oscar de la Renta, or is it Renta? I don't know. This one is called Esprit d'Oscar, and this is the Eau de Parfum version. This is a 2011 reformulation of a vintage classic done by Frank Volkel and Anne Gottlieb, I'm pretty sure. And why did I pick this one up? So Fliss basically said, it reminds her of this classic here, Guerlain L'Heure Bleue. This one is not expensive by any means. You can pick these up for like around 50-60 euros. But this one here is even cheaper. This one here, the 100 ml bottle Eau de Parfum in this nice box is 25 euros. So it's even less than half. And if I remember correctly, Fliss said that she prefers this one to the Guerlain, which is, I mean, sacrilege, but you know, I don't mind. Nice and pink innards. That was a little bit, well, let's gloss over that. And there's the bottle, which is absolutely massive. I mean, that's huge. Check these out, similar color. This one was a little bit brighter before I got it, and it's gotten darker because there's lots of vanillin and stuff like that that changes color there. But you can see the shape here, I think. I hope you can see it. I'm always doing this a little bit blind because I can't see what you're seeing right now. The bottle has a really interesting shape, and the cap is like a flower. It's a plastic cap. I mean, this is nothing special. It's fine. The spray actually looks decent. That looks pretty well done. That looks pretty well made. I can't complain about this. Let's give this one a sniff. I know L'Heure Bleue very well, so again, double check. Also well filtered, not much shit floating around. So this one's the dirty one for today so far. Also good sprayer. I think the Moschino still has the nicest sprayer and quality of the filtering, but oh, this smells nice. I mean, this is good. This is good. Good first impressions. I hope you can still see all of that. If not, just put it here in front. Just have to somehow see the Moschino here as well. I mean, yes, very much this direction. Violets. There's this waxy, irisy thing, which, you know, there's probably not much real iris in this since the price. Lots of white florals, so it's actually really, really huge neroli orange blossom thing. And you can smell like the ylang ylang giving some butteriness, so there's some natural ylang ylang in this for sure. A little bit of jasmine, aldehydes giving that waxiness as well, so the aldehydes here really support that violety, irisy, lipsticky thing. It's very sparkly, citrusy as well. This is brighter than L'Heure Bleue. I think L'Heure Bleue is a little bit less bright. Yes, L'Heure Bleue smells a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit less sparkly, a little bit less happy. So this one has a little bit more happiness, I would say. It's not as melancholic as L'Heure Bleue. L'Heure Bleue is very melancholic. Yeah, and you can smell like a creamy vanillic base. It's very powdery as well. Lots of airiness. I mean, this smells a little bit more modern than L'Heure Bleue, I would say. A little bit cleaner even than L'Herbe. Just, I mean, that's a really, really well made violety, orange blossom, so white floral, purple, powdery, musky fragrance. Just well done stuff. And here's something you may not have expected from me. So this one here is Juliette Has a Gun, which is a brand that are famous for not a perfume, which is not a perfume. I mean, it's kind of taking the idea of Geyser Schön with the molecular perfume, making a fragrance that just contains, I mean, Cetalox mainly. Maybe there's some other stuff in there, like, but it's basically an ambroxan-based fragrance. This one here is actually the Musc Invisible, so this is their white musk. I smelled this one in Paris, and I was very impressed. In terms of a white musk, okay, I mean it's a simple white musk fragrance. It's clean, but I mean I thought this was really well done, really well done. There's some other stuff in there. You can see in the ingredients it says alpha isomethyl ionone, so there's some powdery notes. There's some coumarin, isoeugenol, linalool. I mean that just means there's some probably some bergamot in there, some powdery notes, some tonka, coumarin. This is the most expensive fragrance today. So this one is at 50 euros for 100 ml, the most expensive fragrance. Not the most expensive per ml, that would be the Nicolai, but the most expensive fragrance as a whole purchase. And you can tell, sorry for the noise. You can tell that this is also the nicest packaging together with the Nicolais. I mean, these are maybe a little bit nicer even, but this is still quite nicely done. So I mean, it just pulls up like this. Oh, it's a little bit off kilter, so it's like not straight up. And somebody pointed out that the bottle, because of the color, looks a little bit like the Eau Sauvage, which, you know, I can see, but it smells completely different. I'll give you just some very quick, I'll spray this one as well. But I was really enjoying that one as a white musk. I thought it was really well done. I was very pleased with how it wore. Sprayed it on at the shop. Actually, I think it was Publicis near the Arc de Triomphe because they're open late. I was there. Let me align the sprayer as well. It kind of bugs me when it's not aligned. But yeah, this one, again, good sprayer. Very good sprayer. This one's actually pressurized, so maybe the best sprayer today. You would expect that for the price. Again, I hope you can see it. I don't actually know if you can see it. I'll just put it here because it's really good. Yes, I mean, this has just enough interest. This is just you know, not sterile, not the sterile musk. Just nice. There's this slightly sweet thing, this slightly floral thing, this very cotton, linen, clean thing. But then there's this touch of something furry, like it's just interesting enough that you can wear this as a nice white musk and you can feel like you smell good to everybody, but still it has enough interest for yourself. Yeah, I don't know. This is maybe one of those less sophisticated fragrances, but I really like this kind of stuff sometimes. Sometimes I want to wear something like this. Just something that feels easy, but still, you know, you still smell good to others, but you also like smelling yourself, and it really works with your skin. And it's really long lasting, and it's not very shouty. I mean, yeah, it just smells. It just makes me want to smell it. I mean, this has something about it. I don't know. This brand usually, I mean, I tried the Not a Perfume Superdose, and I thought it was absolutely abhorrent. I mean, it was just awful. Scratchy, woody bullshit. Excuse my language, but that was really bad. The Not a Perfume Superdose was really bad. And some of the sweeter stuff I do not care for, but this one here is actually really good. Yeah. And I wanted a white musk, and I wanted a white musk that is not too expensive, because I don't like paying too much for white musk. And when I smell this, you know, I smell this and I think of the Hermès Musc Pallida, okay? let me say it upfront. The Musc Padita is nice. It has the actual iris thing, but this one here, in terms of the musk component, I think it comes a little bit. It kind of does a little bit of a similar thing, and it is in there like at a sixth of the price, maybe even less than a sixth of the price. And it just goes to show musks, they shouldn't be that expensive. Yeah, it's just a well-done musk. All right, I'm gonna go through them again. The Uomo. It's quite spicy now, actually. There's lots of spice. It's kind of gotten more woody spicy, but still aromatic. The citrus has moved a little bit. Let's see the Bogart. I mean, that's typical classical Amber Fougere. Again, this one is like, for the price, I mean, this is just so easy to spray on. All year fragrance. Timeless. Very pleasant, but for me it's at the upper limit of the sweetness. I mean, it's quite sweet, but it has just enough of that woody, lavendery thing. It reminds me of something. What does it remind me of? It reminds me of many things, let's be honest. This is that sort of Nikos sculpture, that sort of Le Labo Lavande. Even Le Mal, but Le Mal is probably even sweeter. It's very airy. It's very airy. I mean, this is, again, I'm sure this one will wear very nicely. Oscar de la Renta or Renta. It's very elegant. I mean, wow. That has some sophistication about it. Yeah. There's quality in this. I mean, this is a quality fragrance. I mean, totally see that Le Bleu thing, but this is maybe a bit more wearable for me even. Le Bleu is so situational. Wow, but I mean, I have to be honest, the Guerlain quality is still a step above. And then finally the musk. Yeah, I still like this. I still like this one. This is very modern. This is probably the most modern. I mean, of course, it's the most recent release. These to the side. Look out for the video on the Nicolais. I'll probably do them both in a single video. But yeah, that musk, I mean, it's so soft. But there is the slightly, the slightly skin thing, the slightly milky, slightly furry, fuzzy skin thing. Beautiful. I mean, I would have never thought I would like, I don't like the whole J-Hag thing. I mean, I was never a fan, but this one, the musk, it definitely, it convinced me. I'm happy with this one. So yeah, this whole range, I mean, this whole stuff, like, I paid around 150 euros for all of these fragrances, shipped. And, some brands, they charge insane money for fragrances that are worse than any one of these. And that's just, goes to show that price is not everything. And there's good fragrances to be had at any price level for all types of tastes. And yeah, let me know in the comments, which one of these have you tried? Which one of these do you like? Which one of these do you dislike? Which one do you want to see more content on? I'll be probably doing a comparison between these two. Probably also be doing a comparison between these two. And then I'm also going to do a roundup of cheapies in general, because I want to put some more spotlight on fragrances that are affordable and not clones, because none of these clone another fragrance. I mean, you could argue about this one being a clone. It's not really. It's not. It's definitely very inspired, but I think it does just enough different stuff. Like with the aldehydes, it's fresher. It's so much more citrusy. It's a little bit almondy. It's different enough. It's a similar idea, but it's different enough that I wouldn't call this a clone. But these are affordable. This one definitely is affordable. This one is affordable if you're a guy. The Bogart as well. I mean, there's something for everybody in here. So I hope you enjoyed that one. That was I was trying to, be quick about it. Again, happy to give you more detail in the comments if you ask, or in a future video. So until next time, please be safe, be kind to each other, and be kind to yourself as well. It's very important. Until the next video, bye bye.